All right, boys and girls, I'm going to show you how to draw some treats based on shapes. The first drawing is going to be a slice of cake. And what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing the V on the side. And I'm going to make it like a curved triangle. And now I'm just going to add a rectangle to the bottom. As you notice, I'm using my left hand to hold the paper straight. Now I'm adding 2 horizontal lines to the bottom, and there we have our piece of cake. So if you want to make like a doily at the bottom to kind of give it a little bit of texture, and now a plate, just the curved line at the bottom. And if you want to add maybe like a little strawberry on top for decoration. Now you are going to be doing this with pencil. I'm just doing this in Sharpie right now. All right, here we have our cake. Now related to the cake is the cupcake. The cupcake is going to be a diagonal line. By the way, when I draw, I'm always using my left hand to hold the paper still, and I'm dragging my hand on the page. 2 diagonal lines, a horizontal line, and now just some curved lines to show the cupcake holder. And you can also add some diagonal lines coming down to give it that crinkle feel. And now all I'm doing is a semicircle, dragging my hands across the page. And if you want to add sprinkles or any kind of design, I didn't leave enough room for the cherry. Well, there we have a little cherry on top. And there we have our cupcake. Next, what I'm going to do, and I will zoom out later on, is let's do cake, more cake. We're going to do a birthday cake. Now, when you're drawing, you always want to lean your hand on the page. So basically, a birthday cake is cylinders. Cylinders are what are cans. Cans of cat food, cans of soup, cans of beans. And again, you want to drag your hand on the page. So basically, I'm just making some cylinders on top of each other. And I'm going to do another cylinder attached to the bottom. And then some lines at the bottom. When you do your drawings, you want to make sure that you take up the full page. Now I'm just going to add some icing, which was like what we did with the cake. We could add some layers if you want. And any kind of decoration. And some candles, which are basically some rectangles. And almond shaped on top. And there we have our birthday cake. Let's move on to candy, something super simple. Let's do a swirly pop. When you do your drawings, you want to make sure, after you do your practice drawings, that your drawing takes up the full page. So basically that was just a swirly line. Now we're going to do the stick at the bottom. And you know those swirly pops are nice and huge and the sticks are super small. That's a swirly pop. Now we're going to move on to popcorn. So basically it's just 2 diagonal lines and a horizontal line at the bottom. Here are your 2 diagonal lines and your horizontal line. And now I'm just going to do a curved line to connect it. And the popcorn is super fun. All it is are, I call them almost like little popcorn heart clouds. And you want to make it look like there's a lot of them. Just lots of curved lines. Little cumulus clouds on top of each other. You want to fill the bucket with it. And if you want to have some lines, like it looks like it's maybe like popping out at you. If you want to have some popcorn falling to the ground. And if you want to write the word popcorn, you don't have to do it in bubble letters, even though you can tell what this is. It can't hurt. To write it if you want. And there you have your popcorn. All right, so I'm going to start to zoom out a little bit so you can start to see. Now, if you want to do French fries, it's basically the same shape as your popcorn. Let me just make that as good for you. A diagonal line to the bottom. And remember, you want to make it nice and big. Fill the page. 2 diagonal lines coming in, 1 horizontal line at the bottom. And the difference between the popcorn container and the French fry container is that maybe you want to do some zigzag lines. On the popcorn, you just did a curved line. So now, just for decor, just do some diagonal lines across. Trying to give it a little bit of a carnival theme. Again, I'm leaning my hand on the page. And now for the French fries, they're basically haphazard rectangles that are overlapping. And you know, with French fries, they're all different sizes and shapes. We're going to pretend that our French fries are towering over each other and they're not floppy and they're nice and crispy. So you kind of want them crashing into each other, overlapping some behind. Again, if you did a cityscape with me, I don't know if we've done it yet this year, all buildings are rectangles. So just think of this as kind of crashing rectangles into each other. And there we have our French fries. So all drawings based on shapes. Now what I'm going to do is an ice cream cone. The ice cream cone, again, you're going to make a V. And you want to make sure that when you make your V, and you can see I actually didn't have my hand in the air, so it probably was a little bit curvy. Luckily, you're doing this in pencil first. When you're doing your cone, you want to make sure that you take up the full page, but that you leave enough room for the huge scoop or two of ice cream. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just doing some curved lines to go around to make it a gigantic scoop of ice cream. And now I'm going to just do some diagonal lines coming down to the bottom to give it that waffle cone feel. There you have your ice cream. All right, so in the world of ice cream, we're going to do a popsicle. And a popsicle is also nice and easy. We'll just zoom in over here. It's an upside down U. And again, with ice cream and lollipops, and now you just basically make a horizontal line and 2 backward L's. That's the indentation. And if you want to show it the bottom of the popsicle, with the ice cream and the popsicles and the lollipops, you want them to be really big and the sticks to be a little bit smaller than what's on them, okay? So for the last drawing, we're gonna do pizza. And just like the ice cream, we're gonna start with a V, okay? A V for the pizza. I'm just gonna do it in a different direction. So we had a V for pizza, we had a V for the cake, and a V for the ice cream. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect it with a curved line, just like we did for the cake, but we're just making it a lot bigger. And now to make it look a little 3D, we're gonna do like a parallel line, diagonal line, just connecting it from here to the bottom. And I'm gonna make the crust another little U. And we're going to connect it, make the crust there. And if you want to add some pepperoni or some mushroom, just some circles, you could do it. So it's nice to have a few circles kind of coming off the side to make it look like there are pieces of it. And here we have our treats. So if you look at the similarities of the French fry and the popcorn, two diagonal lines, horizontal line. The only difference is you have the zigzag line for the French fries and a curved line for the popcorn. Looks like we also need to add a little bit more popcorn there. Popcorn's always falling out of the container. And we'll just add a few more. We want it to be full. And it looks like we need one more over here. Okay. Similar shapes. All drawings are based on shapes. And there we have all of our treats that you can choose from. You're going to do one drawing for your final.